It has been one beautiful year whereby I've been showcasing Mabati houses on this channel. We've seen alternative options to building. We've seen unique designs of Mabati houses. And today I'd like to take a shift towards something totally different. And this home belongs to a friend of mine who just called me and said, Cynthia, no, I'm not going to do a Mabati house. I'm going to construct my own home, my dream house, for as long as it takes. So I decided to showcase his story. And aside from that, you notice that this house is a flat roofed design. So this is a sensation that is now coming up again. I remember growing up, I used to see such kind of houses, but mostly they were dominated by the Indian population. So right now it's quite a sensation, especially in Kenya, because I noticed that most people are now getting back to this design. So you have all the reasons to stay here. Thank you so much for your loyalty, and let's dive right into this. So when you decide to start building your house, especially if you have the flat roof design, of course, by this time you have a piece of land somewhere and you have a design. But what is different for my friend is that he did not get an architect to draw the plan. He actually just used one of the fundis, and luckily for him, this compound, by the time he was buying it, it already had trees on it, and some of the trees were actually mature. Sorry. So you discover that these are the some of the trees that have actually assisted him to get his budget really on the lower side. You see some of the timber that the fundi is usually used to climb up when they're working on the top parts of the house were actually cut from this compound. So this is an extra, and these are some of the things that you can look forward to, especially if you want to construct your house but under a budget. So it is not true that all fancy looking houses are actually expensive. People have devised different ways that you can actually construct your dream house without necessarily spending an arm and a leg. So on this particular day when I visited, the fundi were fixing the grills. So you notice that this is a grill that is meant to go to the main door, and previously we've just seen them fixing the windows. And so another method that I'm going to mention, because I'm not going to bring the guest here, the host, he's not free to be interviewed on camera, but I'm going to tell you exactly what he told me. So on cost cutting measures, when you're going to get a fundi or a fabricator who is going to do your window grills and the door grills, for him, he went deep into the village, because this house is being constructed in one of the rural towns in Kenya. I mentioned that this is in Siaya. So when he wanted to do the fabricated steels for the windows and the doors, he went deep into the village and found some of the upcoming artisans who are really good at their job. It's only that they are not exposed to a lot of business, especially so in a world where social media actually propels people to get sales. So this is where he went, and of course their prices are negotiable and they're quite on the lower margin. And you notice what he actually came up with is actually very good workmanship. So this is another tip that you can actually use, especially if you're in rural setups. Try exploring the other fundis who are not so famous. You know, when you go to an artisan who is handling tenders from the county, you go to an artisan who is used to taking huge orders. Of course, their rates are quite higher than what you'd expect from someone in the village. So that is one of another tip that you can actually use to cut down your costs of construction. And this, according to my host, is something that has really helped him bring down the cost of construction, especially as far as fabrication is concerned. So at this point, I'd like you to come with me so that we get inside the house and get to see what is going on here. So once you get inside, of course, you notice that the window fixing business is still ongoing. This is actually the major job that is being done here today. So they are fixing the window frames, they are fixing the door frames, and something to note is that the door frames are being fixed. They are metallic, because this area is highly prone to termites. So the only way you can fight them, because eventually they get into the house, no matter what you do to the some people say they mix insecticide while they're doing the foundation, but one or the other you'll still find that if it is a highly termite infested area, then eventually they just get to your door frames. So right from the word go, he decided that he's not going to use wooden door frames, and this is what is being done here today. They are fixing door frames that are just made out of metal. So this house, the design was just sketched by a fundi, but of course he lifted it from someone else's house plan, and it's functional for this family. It is a 3-bedroom house with a master en suite. Then there are 2 bedrooms for the children, or maybe if you get to have a guest. But let's look at the roof. The roof design is very interesting because I mentioned initially that this is a flat roof design. So you notice that the drainage, the one that you usually have on the roof, the gutter, is just centrally placed, and it is one long one that is running from one extreme end of the house to the next. So I'm going to show you in a short while where it empties. That means that you only have one collection point on the outside of this house. So you're going to see that in a while. And I've had people talk about the challenges that are usually associated with this kind of a flat roof design. I don't know what your experience is. If you're someone who's had an experience with this kind of a roofing, then please tell us in the comment section so that we know the deficiencies that are associated with this kind of roofing design. Okay, so on the exterior, you notice that this is a basement that is used. It is actually meant to hold the water tank. So it has been nicely raised off the ground, as you can see, and this is where he plans to put the water collection point. So just a minute as I aim the camera up right there. I don't know if you can see that opening right above the 2 windows. One window is for the bedroom, the other one window is for the toilet, the other one for the bathroom. So right above the toilet one, you notice that there is where the gutter now opens out to the exterior of the house right here. So there's a connection running from here into the water tank, and I've just shown you the basement or the place where the tank is going to be held. So this is just it. So tell me in the comment section if you've had any deficiencies or disadvantages associated with this kind of roofing, so that we can get to interact there and learn. Every day is a learning experience, and I'm very grateful for the people who keep commenting on my videos. There we get to interact. So let's take a little trip to the exterior of the house. These are the kind of trees that I was telling you. So by the time this guy was buying this piece of land, the owner had planted trees, like you can see. So this initially was it was a plot measuring 200 by 100, and then it was split into two. So the guy sold part of it. This is what is now hosting the house that we've just visited today, and part of it is still pending on the left, as you can see, with trees. And this is the house in question. It's going to be a very lovely house, and you have all the reasons to keep it here, because I've already had a part 2 to this, where the house is still ongoing. Most of the finishings are now being done, and I don't want to preempt it. Just stay on my channel. If you've not subscribed, please do so, because I bring you construction stories that are very inspirational. Well, so let me tell you how this guy has come to this point. He's a fan of my channel, and he used to watch most of the videos, especially surrounding the Mabati houses that I've put on this channel. Then he told me, it's good that you're encouraging people to start off with whatever they have at hand, and even if that option is a Mabati house, then that is just good enough. But for me, I'm not going to start with a Mabati house. Look at the termites that I was telling you. They're even attacking live plants. So you can imagine if there's just timber lying down somewhere, they can actually attack it in a matter of seconds. So that is why the guy is doing metallic frames, like I've just told you. See, they're even attacking napier grass. So this area is highly prone to termites, and these are the kind of things that you should consider, especially when you're buying land. Places are usually heavily waterlogged. So when you're buying land, you actually just have to first inquire very well, and probably wait for several seasons if there's that opportunity, so that you can just verify what kind of land you're buying. And some of the disadvantages or challenges that you'll experience while constructing your home are these. See, now this house construction has been done purely by buying water from a different source. Can you imagine? Like, you're doing construction and there's no water at the site. So that is a major challenge, but if you don't focus on that, you'll end up completing your house. So you rise above the challenges. And then I really like that he's taken into consideration that sometimes you may not have water, especially in Siaya town. There's usually a lot of water trouble. So he's made this latrine. So this is a latrine. The two doors are meant to be a latrine, and the last door is meant to be an outdoor bathroom. And I like the way it has been done. It looks very beautiful, and the workmanship is actually really good. Then there's that, what do they call it? I don't know. That's a central part that barricades the door, so that there's a lot of privacy, especially when you get inside. Yeah, a lot of talking. I hope you stay here so that you get to see part 2 of this edition. I do not want this video to be very long, so I'm going to end here. Remember to subscribe. If you like this content, please let me know, because it is one and the first one of its kind. If you like it, then I'll explore options like these ones, so that if you are someone who does not want to start off with a Mabati house, then you can use the tips that I'm going to share in these editions, so that you get to own your own home and a pole plan. Jenga pole pole. Thank you for your loyalty. Until the next edition, it is bye for now.